Midnight in Hong Kong, where we cross over to freelance journalist Pablo Wang. Thank you for speaking with us here on France 24.
Good evening, everyone.
The extradition bill withdrawn, you've seen those mixed reactions. What
Yes.
does happen next when the sun rises where you are?
Well, as of tonight, even about 9:30, 10 p.m., there were protests at the Mong Kok police station in downtown Hong Kong in the Kowloon area. So they were still chanting five demands, not one less. So I guess the protest will continue. And as the citizen press conference, the emergency press conference they held at the LegCo at about 9 p.m., they were very clear and emphatic about it. They quoted, and I'm reading this right now, they quoted a survey by the Chinese University of Hong Kong. 95.1% of people were demanding for an independent commission of inquiry into the alleged police brutality and abuse of power, and only 85% were still demanding the withdrawal of the extradition bill reform. So basically, most of the people are more concerned about police brutality in the last few months than about the withdrawal of the suspended legislation.
So the police brutality supplanting the extradition bill as the top concern. We saw in that report that there were five demands.
Yes.
Realistically, though, what do Hong Kong citizens actually hope for?
Uh, well, I cannot clearly measure the public opinion because, as you all know, this movement is decentralized and everyone has their own opinion. So it's about consensus. And so far, it's quite clear that the consensus is that all five demands need to be met. Although, yes, realistically speaking, it's very difficult for all five demands to be met. But I think maybe I'm wrong, but I think that most people would probably uh, I mean, if the government really wants to appease society now, I think two demands need to be met. One of them is, of course, now withdrawal of the extradition bill, which, by the way, needs to be done officially by the resumption of the next legislative session in October. So it's not withdrawn yet, actually, officially. So that needs to be happen, and then the independent commission of inquiry. So Carrie Lam is insisting that uh, currently, she can use the Independent Police Complaints Council to solve this issue. But the Independent Police Complaints Council, as the name really suggests, and it's clear, it's part of the police department. So people will not be convinced by any report that the police department issues about their own behavior.
Pablo Wang, we all remember 2014 and the umbrella movement, a movement which petered out, and critics of it said that the protesters really didn't know when it was time to stop, and eventually they lost a fair measure of support. Is there the same danger this time around?
Um, well, I think Hong Kong has changed, and one of the reasons why this movement is decentralized and has no clear leadership is because they learned their lessons from the umbrella movement in 2014. And another lesson they learned is that different opinions need to be considered, and none of them should be mutually exclusive. So a very important slogan this time is that we all go together, and to the point that now no one is advocating for a division of opinion. There is another survey done earlier, and it was also very clear that people who oppose violence or escalation were decreasing. Back in June, it was probably 38%, I remember. And then by August, it increased to 78%. So I think Hong Kong has really gone through a revolutionary change. I mean, one of the slogans is "Revolution of our times, liberate Hong Kong."
But it's a
So
city. It's a
I
city
think
that
it
still
really
has
is
its special status because it's such a crucial trade hub. It's a city built not just on
well,
universities, but
yes,
obviously
but
first and foremost
no,
on
it's not just
business.
universities. let me interrupt you. No, it's not just the college students, because most people in the society may not be going on protest every day, and it's not so visible. But if you are among the crowds, you will notice that there's middle class, there's elder people, there's kids in the protests. Yeah, yeah. So it's not just about college students. It's I mean, even yesterday you could see high school students seriously taking every political demand and protesting. I mean, they went on a class boycott as well. So this is really a dramatic change in the way Hong Kong society works. And let's go back to, yes, commercial hub, financial hub. Hong Kong is has this special status because it has a rule of law that convinces businesses to set foot in Hong Kong. If this status changes, and let's say, for instance, the police can do basically anything they want now, so the sense of special or the sense of rule of law and transparency will gradually vanish, and then Hong Kong will definitely lose that status.
Pablo Wang, one final question. We've seen in the last couple of weeks the tension rise, that troop buildup on the mainland just across from Hong Kong. Why the withdrawal or the announcement of the withdrawal of the extradition bill now?
Some people think that this is probably a strategy to, as you may well said, you have very well said, it's about calming some sectors of the society. So there's a division like it was in 2014. But unfortunately, as legislators from the opposition camp said, it's too late. It came really late. If this had been done earlier, let's say in early July, maybe the public opinion would have accepted it. But now it's really a different stage of development, and people are demanding really more transparency, an investigation on the police behavior, and they're demanding the reactivation of the political reform in Hong Kong.
Freelance reporter Pablo Wang, many thanks for speaking with us from Hong
Thank you.
Kong.